All right, you guys. All right, the grasshoppers out there. We got some cool dudes here today. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm glad I'm a long way away from these three guys. So we've got Kenny. These are all either former. You guys, Kenny and Johnny, you're former SEALs now. You're out.
Correct.
Yeah, very good. So Kenny and Johnny here is former SEALs, and again, Kenny here is still active in the SEALs. And I gotta get the proper. So Kenny is the Navy Recruiting Warrior Challenge Coordinator for New York City and Northern New Jersey. What does that mean, Kenny?
So what that means is that anybody that wants to come into the Navy under a special contract, so SEAL, SWCC, EOD, Diver, Air Rescue, what they have to do is they have to join the Navy under a job, and then they have to take a physical screening test to qualify for one of those special contracts. I'm the one that runs the special screening test. We call them PSTs, physical screening tests. And if the scores are good enough, we'll submit them on a national draft and get that Navy contract switched to give them a special contract and a shot at the selection pipeline for the program they're gunning for.
Good. And we were talking before the show, you're from Montana originally.
I am. Grew up in Montana. I'm a city kid by Montana standards. So, Bozeman, about 35,000 people. And I've been a few places since I left the house at 19 and enlisted.
Good. All right, Kenny, where are you from originally?
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Landlocked, no water, a brother, black man. That's an unusual set of circumstances right there.
Then you go in the Navy as a Navy SEAL, no water. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I thinking?
Yeah. How long were you in?
I did 4 years in the Navy.
Very cool. Good. And what do you do now? You got your own MMA business going on there?
I do a couple things. I have a martial arts business. What I like to say is I inspire people to become their best selves, to be elite. I just happen to teach exceptional martial arts. I do elite achievement coaching for Fortune 500 companies, and I travel the world and teach tactics.
Wow, very cool. Johnny,
I'm trying to be like Johnny when I grow up.
I don't know how I follow up with that.
No, come on. He's pumping your tires pretty good there, Johnny. He's pumping your tires up. Johnny, where are you from?
I'm originally from Miami Beach, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get in late? Did you get in at 28?
20. Yeah. Oh, actually, I pursued at 28, and then I got my contract at 29. So I got an age waiver. As we were talking about previously, Kenny, it's just the gatekeeper over here. It's a pretty, compared to when I was going through, there's some studs coming through. I think they've all seen what to expect.
Right. So we were talking about this before the show. You feel like the guys are not getting in worse shape, like a lot of people in our society. They're getting in better shape now.
Oh yeah, the new guys getting in, they have a wealth of material to learn from, and guys like us who are out and be like, yeah, this completely sucked.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm like a lot of people, right? I watch some movies like Lone Survivor, and I see the training and all that kind of stuff. The training, the buds and everything, was that what it was? Was it harder, more?
I watched. I had a buddy of mine who was in the teams before, and he kind of prepped me on a lot of stuff. But there's nothing that can compare you to that feeling.
Right.
When you get
kind of like trying to describe a car wreck to somebody that hasn't been in one.
Yeah.
Just a 6-month-long car wreck. I mean, realistically, a lot of top athletes would do okay with just a single day of buds. With all of we call them evolutions. So all of the workouts that we have scheduled out throughout the course of a day, you take somebody that is in very good physical condition, most people would do okay. The issue and the sticking point is that it's 6 months long of every single day, never dry, little sleep, and doing it again and again.
It takes a little bit of insanity. So
and again.
Kenny, I got the strange feeling you actually liked it though. Kenny, is that true?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love to hate it. I think Kenny and Johnny make a great point. I think something was different. We were going through, there was a mystery to it. It was clouded and shrouded. You didn't know how to prepare correctly. So like they said, it's like preparing for a kick in the nuts. Actually, there's a funny story. I remember one time we were sliding off a Zodiac. There's this real big, strong, tough guy. He slid in, the water was so cold, he slid in. obviously because you can't splash. And he had an orgasmic like, and I was like, what did you just do over there, man? I want to have what he's having. And he was like, he looked at everybody and he goes, why the hell do we do this? Because you never get used to the cold. It doesn't matter how long, you can't prepare for that. Wow. And the other guy looked over and he said, for the cool stories. And he's like, everybody was like, yeah. But what's odd is I was taking cold showers and there was a Hispanic guy going through the SEAL teams at the time. And I was taking cold showers trying to condition my body. And he came in there, he's like, Biggs, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, I'm acclimating my body, bro. And he's like, bro, you never get used to the cold. Take warm showers while you can, bro. I was like, damn, he's right.
Yeah, we always run around with boats on our heads. And I've told people, like, I don't prepare for a car wreck. You know, if you told me in a month from now I'm going to smash into a wall, I am not going to drive into a bunch of walls to prepare for it. Yeah. You tell me I'm going to have a boat on my head, I'm not going to run around with a rubber mallet, you know, practicing the impact. You do it and you deal with it. And really the secret sauce is that there is no secret sauce. You just show up and you put in the work and you put in the effort. And resiliency is the word that is getting thrown around a lot, both within academic circles and our community now, because we're looking for people that are willing to go all in on themselves and that have the resiliency to stay all in on themselves when it's not necessarily going their way.
Right. You know, one of the biggest things I learned too, right? And you guys are living proof of it. You get this daunting problem or task or some problem in front of you, and you look at this big picture and you get intimidated by it. You know, oh God, am I ever going to get through it? And really, like you guys are saying, is you don't look at the big task. You look at that one thing you've got to do that day, right? I mean, you just get up and do that day, and then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You really can't look too far ahead, right?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of us actually humor too, just because you look at this and you're like,
yeah, like what am I doing, right? Yeah,
like you look at the guy to the left, the right of you, and you're just like, seriously?
Yeah.
We had a lot of hard laughs that started off with going, "This is awful," and then everybody would crack up.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Right? Do you guys go ahead, Ken?
One thing that makes it awesome, like Kenny said, I think somebody asked me, what's SEAL training about? And I said, failure. And they're like, what? Because Navy SEALs succeed at things that nobody else succeeds at. But the reason why they succeed is how they interpret and respond to failure. It's the beginning, not the end. It's the total opposite, the antithesis to everybody else's mindset. And the other factor is having great guys like these next to you. Right. The team capacity to do something greater. The rest of the world stops at independence. And then there's another step, it's interdependence. And that's when independent people take all their power and resources and come together to do something you can't do by yourself. You wouldn't make it through SEAL training by yourself or any other experience. So you got studs like these next to you. You're like, I can't quit. Look at that stud. You know what I mean?
What really is happening is that you look at the person next to you and he's like, well, I can't quit. Like, you know, you can't quit. And the other person next to you is like, oh man, I hate this shit. Right. And there's thinking the same thing, but you're like, we got to keep doing because I'm not going to be the winner.
There's a lot to that. The hardest part of anything is always starting it. So what I always told junior guys coming into the team under me is right time, right place, right gear, good attitude, and you're 90% of the way there.
Nice.
Yeah. And you're part of this too, right? Just recognizing the fact that life's not fair, right? Like things are going to happen to you. It doesn't matter if you're doing things perfectly, bad things are going to happen, whatever it is. And the longer you sit there and feel sorry for yourself, the worse it gets. You've got to get up right away and get going, right?
There's no way. Like the thing is, like I told someone else, they're like, "Well, how do you manage?" It's acceptance. Yeah, you have to accept. No matter your attitude is not going to change what's in front of you.
Right.
You know, it's just going to change how you go through it.
Hmm. Yeah.
That problem is not going away. You could be have a bad attitude about it, or you could just suck it up and get it done.
So Kenny, it seems like all three of you guys, but Kenny, I'm going to talk to you about this. It seems like being part of that team is really an important thing, right? Both personally and as executing whatever you need to execute. When you get out, I mean, how did you handle it when you left? Now you're no longer part of that team. Kenny?
Yeah, I think it was an odd experience actually, because you're so used to people being so cohesive.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everybody's on their own page. They're all about themselves. So it's kind of a weird transition. And like, for instance, I met Johnny on the last swim. I didn't know him. And it was like instantly I knew this dude. He's a brother from another mother. Like we grew up. You know what I'm saying? He's like, bro, we're going to this spot. It's an instant cohesion because of what is similar is the mindset that makes everybody unanimous. It supersedes and transcends race, color, rank, all of that. It's the whole mindset that unifies everybody. And it's weird because you don't find that camaraderie everywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that those warriors with mindset, hockey players, athletes, that same thing. It's just a warrior's creed that kind of goes across the board. So
it really is. I remember playing out in Los Angeles when I retired, and I knew the end was coming for me. I'd hurt my back, and I knew it was coming. But still, when I walked in the rink there and I sat down in the general manager's office and said, well, this is it. Your career's done. I remember walking out of the rink thinking to myself, like, man, I've been part of a team all my whole life since I was 6 years old. And it was the weirdest feeling thinking that I was no longer going to be part of a team. It's almost like, what do you do with yourself? You know? It was strange. And some guys don't deal with it too well, right? I mean, there's guys that have had issues with that, both athletes and guys in the teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like my transition, like I have a similar story in the sense that I did not. My plan was not to get out the time that I did. So they kind of related to the same things that you professional athletes go through. You can't play anymore. Your knee's blown out. Who am I?
Right.
That's a huge thing that happens to a lot of guys.
You kind of get, and wrongly, I think you get the idea in your head that that's all you are, right? I do is a hockey player. And then as time goes on, you realize, well, that's what I did. It doesn't define who I am, right?
Yeah.
Right. Big point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's somebody put it to me because I got out and I was doing various stuff. I was like a painter, and the way my life was going crazy because when I came out, the economy was messed up. And at that time, our skill sets, now everybody knows about it, our skill sets can be applied in the regular world. When I came out, it was like, I was just trying to get a security job. They're like, you're overqualified. I was like, I just want to eat, man. They're like, you're going to get bored on the job. I couldn't get a job doing security. It's weird. Like I'm talking about like standing in front of Walmart, just standing there, Right. But this guy, so I ended up doing a contract, and the guy said to me, he said, bro, unfortunately, he said, here's the reality. You didn't choose this life chose you. So, and I think it's the character. I think you don't go to SEAL training to become a SEAL. I think you come there with the character that already embodies a SEAL, and you pass through the journey. And I think that's some things that Kenny speaks to.
Right. So Kenny, do you think that to what Kenny said there, do you think that you could take that person and train him to mentally become a SEAL, or just like Kenny said, he already has to have a certain amount of that inside him already?
Well, absolutely. It's absolutely trainable. So there's a great book that I read called Talent Code. And the premise of it, the 10-second version is there's no such thing as talent.
Right.
It's all about putting in the work.
Yeah.
So, this author, he studies all of these hot pockets throughout the globe of all of these high performing sports and musicians and all of these high performing communities. And the question is, well, how did they come up with this? How does this dumpy gym produce such high quality athletes? And, once again, secret sauce is there is no secret sauce. It's showing up and it's doing the work. And the resiliency is built by doing it. So the quick science of it is, as you stress your body releases a stress hormone called cortisol. When you learn to metabolize that, you get stronger. If you let it sit, then it eats you. So the question is what are you doing to stress yourself, and what are you doing to recover from that stress and make it become stronger? Johnny talked about, hey, it's acceptance of, hey, now this is happening and I'm going to do it. There's also, the private sector calls pivoting. We just call it flanking. We are too small of units and special operations to be able to hold ground and to be able to stay still. If we stop moving, that's where we start that's where we start dying, frankly. So we're about counter offense, and we're about a change of direction and a change of attack angle, and that's both tactically and in the personal life. So, and that takes a lot of training, it takes a lot of practice, and really the only thing that matters is your next op and what you do next, because nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody cares about my career or what I've done up until this point if I can't do it again and better next time.
Right. Yeah, I was really fortunate that when I got up to LA, I played with Wayne Gretzky out there, and he's supposedly one of the best athletes who's ever played the game. Yeah. Wow. You know, and it's funny. I tell people all the time, it's like a few things. So first of all, he and I both accomplished our goals. My goal was to play in the NHL. His goal was to be the best player that ever played in the NHL. Right. Because he was, like people say, well, he has this special gift, this vision, all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, really, no. Like, he was no different than anybody else. He just trained himself, like he had conditioned himself to say, I am going to be the best player that ever played the game. So every step along the way to get to that final goal, you guys are saying, he just did it, right? Like I was 2 or 3 years older than him. So when you're like 16 years old and you're 13 years old, that's a big age difference, right? Now he was so good, and we grew up in the same area. He's coming up playing against me, and I'm trying to kill this little kid, right? But he was willing to face all that stuff because he wanted to be the player that played the game. And again, I don't believe, like, if you looked at him, didn't have a special body. He wasn't a great shooter, wasn't a great skater. It was will. He just wanted it bad, So I believe in that stuff so much. I mean, obviously, if you see, like, obviously LeBron James has got to be tall, right? But other than that, LeBron James and Michael Jordan, these guys, they wanted to be the best, and they made themselves the best, right?
It's a great mindset to have, honestly.
Yeah.
So I like. I like again, like what Kenny said, the talent code. That was an awesome book, and they talk about the 10,000 hours, just the amount of time that you have to dedicate to it. And literally, I was doing some tactical seminar the other day, and this guy walked up to me. He's like, "Man, I have these phobias. How do I overcome these phobias?" And there's a great, brilliant psychologist, and the way that he put it, he turns people around to have the greatest phobias. I said, this is what he said. You don't get rid of the fear. You just get more courageous. And that's speaking to what Kenny was saying, is that it is programmable. It's the way you interpret what's coming at you. Like Johnny said, it never goes away. You never get fearless. You just get more courageous. And I told him about the story about the cold water. The water never gets less cold. You just become more mentally hard and strong over time.
I can't tell you how many guys that I talk to who start off with just a self-defeating negative attitude.
Yeah.
Who actually talk. I'm a wuss, or I'm like, what do you like?
Yeah, exactly. When somebody first looked at something, they say, I can't do it. They first
like I suck at this. I suck. You mean like that doesn't get you anything.
Right.
You're just being negative.
All right. So you meet that person. You guys, Kenny, you're coaching people now. So you meet that person that automatically says, I can't. What do you say to him?
Don't ever say that to me again.
Okay.
Like, just, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the negativity, the negative self-talk. That stuff, whether you like it or not, is really, toxic.
Right. And I think it's strange, right? Because most people, if they say that to somebody, I can't do it, everybody's going, oh, poor you. I feel bad for you. Right. Yeah. And you meet somebody like us that says, no, shut up. Don't ever say that.
Yeah.
You know, like Gretzky just has that already. He's like, I'm going to be the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny. I went, you guys ever watched the TV show Survivor?
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I was on that show.
No shit.
Oh, so cool. Yeah.
39. So when you go there at LA, they do all this testing on you, all psych it's mainly psych testing, like, what personality are you and all this kind of stuff. And then they sit with you, sit a doctor with you, and they analyze all the testing. So I sat down with this woman, and she looks at me, she goes, Tom, you have a hard time with empathy. And I swear to God, she's saying that to me, and I couldn't remember what empathy even meant. So I tried to trick her. I said, so can you tell me your definition of empathy? She started laughing at me. She goes, you don't know what it means, do you? And because I'm with you. Something like that happens. There's a problem. You come in and you fix it, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit around and feel sorry for you. And I guess that's where I lack. So I've tried to be empathetic now with stuff, but it's like I open up this floodgates to be empathetic, and it's like it's just somebody laughed at me the other day and said it's just not a natural thing for you. Just forget it. It's like,
you know what's unique is that about the swim that's coming up is that Bill Brown he called probably all of us. I heard the guys talking previous to this, and what people don't understand when we say SEAL training is about failure, the big guys can run with the logs, the little guys can run on the soft sand, but they can't carry the logs. The big guys are sinking in the sands, and what you don't realize, there's something that you always love to hate in SEAL training. Doesn't matter who you are, they have it there for you. And considering this swim, Brown hit us all up like, yo, we're gonna do this thing for the people, but there's a lot of stuff. I heard Kenny, you want to tell your story about joining Buds and how you actually didn't like swimming, and he's coming to attack this thing that he absolutely hates to do something for the people. That's crazy and insane.
Yeah, I've never liked swimming. Montana also landlocked. We have some lakes. They sit around like 40 degrees depending on when the snow melts off. I did train a little bit before Buds. I had to swim in Highlight Reservoir, which is just above Bozeman, and I'd take a rope and I'd tie it around my waist and I'd tow a life jacket behind me because the water was so cold I didn't want to cramp and drown. So just in case I cramped, I'd tow the life jacket in and save myself. But yeah,
Crazy.
Never liked swimming. I still don't like swimming. They were always just the worst days in Buds. I was always in a bad mood the night before a swim because they schedule it out and you know when it's going to happen. And it was something that I showed up and I continued to do, and I figured it out. And I determined in my mind that I was going to pass this. I was going to do this. And my goal was always to beat someone. It didn't matter who it was. Just like I had to beat someone.
that's cool. So did you have that when you were a kid, Kenny? Kenny, were you like that as a kid too? You competitive?
So I'm kind of like we have a friend, and he calls himself the violent hippie. I'm kind of like the warrior monk. I'm kind of zenned out. I'm a Zen dude, and kind of like Zen is kind of like what Johnny talked about. It's just acceptance. I'm like, well, there's the problem, just whatever is there. I'm just going in that direction. So there's a determination, but it's a weird type of empathetic antipathy. It's weird. Like, I don't care what's there. I just accept it. I take all the pain, but I know I'm going to that end game. I'm speaking to that. A lot of guys that I talk to, they don't have a plan B, meaning like Kenny talked about earlier, jumping all in. And athletes, we're gonna, the only way to win the game, you can't win a game on defense. You can only win a game on offense. You cannot lose on defense. So you have to totally commit to the win. And when we say not a plan B, we don't mean contingency planning. The difference between contingency and a plan B is this is an alternative route to get to the end game that I will not give up. Right. But a plan B is, hey, if this goes wrong, I'm going to go over here and do this other thing. Most of the guys I talk to, like Kenny, Johnny, those guys, man, they're like, I'm doing this thing. I don't care. I suck. I'm damn near going to drown. We all have that in common, and so do elite athletes such as yourself.
Yeah, you may have to find another way to do it, but you're still going to finish that job, right?
Yeah, there's no other option.
We have a thing.
I didn't have a plan B.
We have a thing in hockey when you're playing defense. It's called closing the gap, right? So the puck carrier, if I'm the defenseman, the puck carrier is skating down the ice with the puck. I don't want to get too far away from him, right? Because now we're giving him too much room to do what he wants to do. So I've got to close the gap on him. So I try to tell people, if there's some problem you have or something you got to face, close the gap on it. Don't wait for it to come up, right? Go after it. Cool. Get it done, right? So, yeah. Good. All right, so we've got the swim coming up August 8th down in Lower Manhattan there, swimming across the Hudson. I've messaged a few people that are swimming across the Hudson. They go, what? Like the Hudson's a nasty place, right? So did you, Kenny and Johnny, did you do it last year?
We did, yeah.
How was it?
It's a kick in the dick. You know what I mean?
That's it.
It was a breeze, but no, yeah, those currents are nasty in there. I mean,
yeah, that's a true story, man. I was swimming and the Statue of Liberty. I was like, this is a cool way to see the Statue of Liberty. I've never seen it. It was like 200 meters to my left, and I'm swimming. All of a sudden, I felt wham, and my ribs got crushed. and I got slammed into the side of the Statue of Liberty, the base. And I was like, dude, I was just like 200 yards that way. The current just slammed me all the way over into it. Yeah, it started kicking our ass over there.
It does. Like, yeah, I got caught in that same situation where I, just putting out, I look up and the boat's, right over there. Keep putting out. I look up again, it's the same place. I'm like, oh man, this is not
yeah.
True story.
That's funny. There was like almost 50 guys last year, right? It was just all SEALs, all teams guys.
Yeah. We had like 30, 31, 33.
36.
Yeah, this year we have a much larger group, and I'm really pumped about that, man.
Yeah, they opened it up to the cops and the firefighters, I think, too, right?
Yeah, good old Patriots, man. I think it's this is about something different this year.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys see it all too. The cops here in New York, especially, have taken such a beating, both mentally and physically. And
oh man, yeah.
Shame. My father was we had a farm, and then we sold the farm. My father was a firefighter up in Canada, so I'm really near and dear to my heart that whole community of firefighters and cops and everything too. So, so it's a great cause. Right? August 8th, you're swimming. I know it's going to be on Fox and Friends on TV. Obviously, people really can't go watch it with all the pandemic and everything going on, but you can watch it on TV. So again, the cause is there's a lot of.
If it's a protest.
Yes, that's right. We'll go protest. or if it's a political rally. If it's a political rally, you can go together too, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there's a smart workaround.
Yeah, but it's a great. So there's all those homeless, particularly homeless veterans in New York City. So it's to raise money to help them, get them whatever help they need. So great cause for everybody. So I'll be down there. I would love to tell you that I would love to swim. I'd be lying to you. I'll be up there in the boat. I'll make fun of you guys. I make fun of you guys. So I'm up there, throw things at you, whatever. So
please do. Throw a beer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
well, listen, I loved having you guys on here. And in fact, I'd love to do this again with you guys. I love the whole talk about, I think like Kenny, what you're doing, you're going out talking to companies and too about the same kind of stuff, applying the same logic that you learned from the teams for people with their personal lives, their business life. Maybe we should do this every week or whatever, we'll get together.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hey, one thing we want to do as a team and as a crew, we want to thank obviously the New Jersey State Police, the NYPD, GI Go. We want to thank everybody that's making this happen and all the people that are supporting, that allow this. They're the real heroes. We're just the representatives. And we also want to thank Mark and the people such as yourself that are really heavily involved in supporting us. We're the reason that we do what we do. So, well,
it's a real honor. I really mean this when I say it. To be, I guess I've learned so much from being associated with you guys. The discipline, the attitude that you have about life and accomplishing goals and everything. And I do a lot of the same stuff as you. I go talk to schools and businesses and everything. And it's funny. It started for me a few years ago. I listened to that Admiral William McCraven and the speech he gave about making your bed. And, it's funny. I'll tell you, I first watched it and I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I'll go, pull my sheets over the bed. And, then I went back and watched it again. I said, I missed the whole point, right? It's about making I say that to people now, like I get up at 3:30 in the morning and make my bed perfect. And they're like, what? What's wrong?
Yeah. True story, man. True story.
Yeah. But listen, I appreciate it. So we'll do it again. Let's do it next week. We'll talk about it more. We'll pump it up. I want to make sure that we can get the most out of the swim. You guys are sacrificing your time and going to swimming. So let's make it most of it and see if we can raise as much money as possible to help out those homeless vets. So, all right.
I'm down. I'm going to change my background, though, next time. More like Kenny's. There's going to be like fighters behind me.
Yeah, there you go. He was showing off, wasn't he? He knew what he was doing. There you go.
I had it set up already for
yeah. Perfect. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. We'll do the same thing again.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right. Awesome. See you out there.